So Democrats must love crime because they are very much having meltdowns, especially live on the air with CNN over the fact that Trump is actually solving a lot of the crime in America, which is insane to actually say. We are solving crime in America and you are upset about it? This doesn't make any sense, but we're going to take a look because Kevinoleary obliterates the entire CNN panel, and it's doubtful he ever will be invited back. Welcome back to the channel. Before we get into it, I really want to encourage you guys to like and subscribe. It does really help push the channel out further and give me the ability to continue making these videos. Let's take a look here at Trump talking about some crime in Washington, D.C. to kick things off.
Anybody murders something in the Capitol, capital punishment, capital punishment. If somebody kills somebody in the Capitol, Washington, D.C., we're going to be seeking the death penalty. And that's a very strong preventative. And everybody that's heard it agrees with it. I don't know if we're ready for it in this country. But where you have it, it is, we have no choice. So in D.C. and Washington, states are going to have to make their own decision. But if somebody kills somebody, like you could have been killed, very lucky you didn't get killed, it's the death penalty. Okay? Anybody?
Oh my goodness. So Trump is actually going to be bringing back the death penalty, specifically in Washington, D.C., for anyone who kills anybody. That is a very strong stance, but at the same time, why are you going around killing people? Like, there are repercussions for your actions, and now we're seeing the pendulum swing from overly progressive to real life repercussions. I'd love to know where you guys stand on that. And then we got to take a look at the CTV panel in which Kevinoleary just goes a little bit nuclear. Here we go.
He keeps talking about using the military domestically against American citizens. And we can parse all the ways that he can try to do this with this statute or that statute, but the broad principle is that the Constitution makes it much more difficult to do that for a reason, right? Yeah, so why does he keep bringing that up?
Doesn't get caught up in the nuance that you're bringing forward. What they care about, we haven't even mentioned war zones like downtown San Francisco after 7 o'clock where I work, or Hollywood or Los Angeles where I work 2 months of the year. They are war zones. You can't walk outside at night, period. I don't give a damn if it's the Army, the National Guard, the FBI. I couldn't care less, and I can guarantee you 80, 90, 100% of the people there don't care either. They just want to walk outside.
I understand that people do want.
Funny enough, most of these places that are being overridden with an insane amount of crime and zombies, where, to quote Kevinoleary, it's a bit of a domestic war zone. Most of these places have either accepted or implemented defunding the police and caved into the woke mafia and been very pro-progressive, LGBTQI plus all that crap, where it's all about feelings instead of facts. And this is what happens in a soft society. You cannot be soft as leaders. You have to take hard stances and actually punish people when they commit certain very bad crimes, because that's a deterrent. If people don't have a deterrent, then they're going to say, well, I can commit crime and just get away with it, right? No, that's not okay.
On safety. I mean, there's no question about
safety,
that, right?
You
people
get
want
beaten
safety.
to a pulp
Yeah, people
in broad daylight
want
in LA.
Safety and security, but I don't think it's true that people don't care whether or not the U.S. military is put
being pounded
on
with a hammer
fellow citizens. I mean, I think that's an important American principle that has its roots all the way to this country's founding, and it's also because the military serves a role to protect Americans, not to be used against Americans.
Exactly. You keep saying used against Americans. What kind of Americans do you mean? The ones that are murdering us, carjacking us, raping us, terrorizing our cities? I mean, you're saying like he's creating an actual war against American citizens when what he's actually creating is a war against criminals and, by the way, illegal aliens who they are rounding up by the bucket load in Washington.
I want to let Ellie.
Oh my goodness. CNN is just absolutely disgusting. Their views on this are just so freaking pathetic. Crime is skyrocketing in that country, and if America doesn't do something quickly, it's going to turn into the cesspool that's in Canada. where you literally can commit a crime, a carjacking, get caught by the cops, and then get back out onto the streets the same day. It's insane behavior, man. Something needs to freaking happen, or else things are going to get out of control, just like the fact that attacks on Christians have surged in America. Yeah, it's a real thing. Let's have a look.
Fox News alert. The FBI is currently investigating the Minneapolis church shooting as an act of domestic terrorism, which reflects a growing problem in the United States with the number of hostile attacks against Christians skyrocketing. Just last year, there were 415 incidents, which is a 730% increase just since 2018. Let's bring in Fox News contributor Jonathan Morris for his thoughts. Good morning, and thank you so much for coming on in the wake of such a tragic horror there in Minneapolis. What are your thoughts, Jonathan?
Well, any hatred is bad, and it always turns out evil. And in this case, it turned out not only evil, but violent. And I hated to hear the words anti-Catholic hate crime, because I don't want to hear anti-anything. Yeah. And any type of violent crime is despicable. But I was also relieved that our federal government agencies are willing to say that all hatred, including hatred against Christianity, in this case, Catholic Christianity, needs to be called out by its name. Right, just like it's very helpful for us to hear that, to call anti-Semitism what it is. If you had somebody go into a temple and start shooting during a service, we would say, let's investigate that as a hate crime. Now, there might be other motives as well, but let's also be willing to call it by its name, because when we call it by its name, we also say that that is unacceptable socially. And that's why that's the purpose of a hate crime, is to give harsher penalties for something that is able to be transmitted socially, culturally, in a way that's going to be detrimental to our society.
Yep. You need to put an end to it. You need to start punishing people, because there is no deterrent for committing certain crimes. And the more that goes noticed by radical leftists and radical extremists on any end, then the more of an increase in crime you're going to see. You see it in countries that are falling all the time, like the UK. You see it in Canada, and it's bleeding into America. So I'm on board with Trump's capital punishment. I'm on board with that even taking place in Canada. Something needs to happen, because North America is being invaded. It's being invaded by criminals. Anyways, those are my thoughts. I'd love to know where you guys stand on this. Do you think that capital punishment should come back? Do you not think it should come back? What exactly are your thoughts? I can only assume there's going to be a tremendous amount of backlash, and actually pushing forward the legislation in order to have capital punishment implemented in certain pockets of America is probably going to have a bit of resistance. But Trump is in the I don't give a crap era right now, and it's beautiful to see. And so for that reason, he'll probably supersede anyone who tries to prevent it, and it'll go through.